You've had a rough year. You've had a year that would test a lot of people. Illness in the family, a breakup, this spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my.
It's not just like how it used to be where they would just like take your picture, give you respect, and then you'd walk by. It's like a scary, they just come out of nowhere. And it's kind of, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, you know. And
without giving anything away, you live in a house that's surrounded by a fence, you have a gate, you've got security, not a person, you've got a detail of people who are here all the time. Without that, you would feel vulnerable here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I still have helicopters that come twice a day.
Just trying to get a picture of you at the pool or you with
Just anything.
Sean?
Yeah. And they put the captions on their magazines, baby in danger and stuff like that, which is really silly, but I wouldn't be in danger if I didn't have like this, you know, this impactful thing around me all the time. And I just feel like the editors, they don't realize that there's not just one magazine, there's other magazines, and they're all paying to get a story. And I think that the energy from the people is getting, it's kind of scary, and like I can't really leave my home right now.
And then will she have the perfect body? Not to her. And you don't like the famous bottom? The world famous?
The world famous bottom? Ew, don't say that. That's a very nice compliment. But
Now we got in the car and went to Starbucks. You would see 20 photographers there. And
But the fact of the matter is, while they pursue you, and we can argue for a long time, they shouldn't be doing it. And I would agree with you on that completely. They managed to snap a picture that didn't cast you in the best light.
oh, of course, that is their job, and they do a very good job at it. And they've crossed the line so many times, you know. And I think because I'm a sweet young girl, nothing ever gets really done about it, you know.
When you were driving with Sean on your lap, did it clearly?
And
you're
it's
trying
seriously that driving incident. I did it with my dad. I'd sit in his lap and I'd drive. We're country.
Brittany, a bad mom. It's not like, did Brittany record a bad song? Is Brittany wearing a bad outfit? Is Brittany in a bad marriage?
Yeah.
Is Brittany a bad mom? I mean,
That's America for you.
yeah, but as a mother, that has to hit pretty close to home.
Yeah, makes you really strong.
Make you weep?
Oh, I've wept. Yeah. I've definitely wept just with the world, you know, how judgmental they are. You know what? I know I'm a good mom.
You're walking with Sean in one arm, and you tripped on, what was it, your pants?
I think actually I didn't trip on anything. It was New York Street, just cobblestones, and I was walking, and I only was prepared with one security because I've never had that much paparazzi ever on me in New York. So we didn't even know there was going to be that many people. So I think it was a mixture of so many paparazzi and just how the road was all messed up, me just trying to get in the car.
It was a close call. I mean, it seemed as if for a sec, you know.
Accidents happen.
Right.
And when he gets, my brother, when he was like 13 years old, he got in like 4 motorcycle accidents, had to be airlifted, you know. Stuff happens with kids. It's reality, you know. Unfortunately, not everybody has 80 cameras on them 24/7.
And the headline on that picture was Oops Number 3.
Exactly. There'll be a oops 100. There'll be plenty more oopses. I'm not perfect, I'm human.
By the time a wounded Justin alluded to a betrayal by Britney in his song Cry Me a River, it was clear Britney Spears was no longer America's sweetheart.
Do you think perhaps the breakup with Justin, was that when you started to sense the tide turning a little bit in your life? There were allegations about infidelity. Did that put the spotlight on you in a negative sense?
I do think there was a little shift there, definitely.
And then she gave the tabloids a present wrapped in a big bow, a quickie Vegas wedding to her childhood friend Jason Alexander in January 2004. Almost as quick, the annulment that followed.
Oh, that was just silly. That
But
was
do you
something,
think that gave the
that
press
wasn't-
something to talk about?
yeah, definitely.
Another negative aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
I have
I was upset. I was upset for a while. I think we're both really young, and it was kind of waiting to happen. And I will always love him. He'll always have a special place in my heart. He is such a great person.
But you said, I've only slept with one person in my whole life, 2 years into my relationship with Justin. And yet he's left the impression that you weren't faithful, that you betrayed the relationship.
I think everyone has a side to their story, and to make them feel a certain way, and make them feel, and I'm not technically saying he's wrong, but I'm not technically saying he's right either. So, this feels really awkward right now.
How's your marriage?
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. So when the magazine screams on the cover, pregnant and divorcing, you want people to know?
No, none of that's true.
Written and said about the way the relationship began between you and Kevin, not as much about the way it began, but the timing of it beginning, that he left his girlfriend when she was pregnant. I think 6 months pregnant Char was. Did that bother you? Did you stop and think, wait a second, that's a very delicate situation?
Actually, I didn't know. I didn't know until 2 months later. But I don't blame him, because him and his friends, I've talked to his friends about this, they weren't technically together when he came to me anyways. They were, apart. But that happened with Julia Roberts too, but it's more talked about and more of an issue with me. Like, her husband was married and had kids when they first got together. But for some reason, it's like boom in your face when it happens with me. And it's really none of anybody's business.
You said to me a couple of times already today you believe in karma. And as someone who is now several months pregnant, do you ever stop and think, he left someone else when she was a couple of months pregnant? Does that ever cross your mind?
No, because we're very happy together right now.
Give me the chronology of the kiss. How did you decide to kiss Madonna?
Well, actually, when rehearsals, it wasn't something that was like,
This is what we're gonna do,
it was just kind of like, we played around a little bit. And she said before the performance, let's just feel it out and see what happens. So I didn't know it was going to be that long and everything, but it was cool.
Had you ever kissed a woman before?
No, I've never kissed a woman before.
Would you again?
Would I again? No, I would not do it. Oh, maybe with Madonna, but
But that's it. You're going to stay true to Madonna as far as kissing?
Madonna. Yeah.
What does your mom think?
What does my mom think?
Yeah.
She thinks it was cool. She liked the performance. She knows it's about performing, and it's not like, so.
Well, how do you think your fans who followed you from your days in as a Mouseketeer up till now, are they happy with the change in your image?
I mean, honestly, it's about me just performing and expressing myself, and I think when someone sees you up on stage having fun and you're fulfilling your dream, they're inspired by that, and that's what matters.
So you don't notice any sort of shift in the way you present yourself? 3 years ago was sort of the, example of clean living, and do you think that's changed?
I think I'm still clean living, when I don't go home and have orgies or anything like that, I'm still the same person that I've always been, so.
She seemed very young. She seemed younger than a person who would bear her midriff. I mean, the impression I came away with was that it would be wrong to have adult thoughts about Britney Spears. I mean, she may be 21, but she seems, again, young, in a nice way.
Do you agree? As the last song of yours said,
Not that innocent.
Well, yeah, the clean living Christian girl who makes those raunchy videos. How do you reconcile those?
I wouldn't say raunchy.
Oh, come on. What about what you did at the MTV Awards there a while back?
I wouldn't say that's raunchy either. I would say that's being an entertainer, and that's expressing yourself. And, you gotta say, when you're in your bedroom at night and you've got a good song on of Madonna or whatever, you're dancing around on your bed and you're being someone that you're not, It's exhilarating.
So you have no problem at all reconciling the, you know, Christian values, good moral, upstanding values, with being a little flirtatious, tantalizing, provocative?
You would be boring if you couldn't flirt. I mean, it doesn't say in the Bible that you can't flirt or be sexy.
I don't think...
But is this as far as you're going to go? Because I remember reading once you said, I'm not going to do that Madonna thing and try to shock everybody.
Never say never, huh?